Okay, everybody. Today we are going to be learning a little bit about absolute value. We've been working with positive and negative integers on a number line. We know that positive integers are those greater than 0, so on this side is 0, and we know that negative integers are the numbers that are on this side of 0. Here we have two values placed on a number line. We have no dashes to show what the numbers are, but if I were to say that this value here was 5, I want you to think of an estimate for what this value over here would be. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. I want you to come up with an estimate. So if we're looking for the opposite of 5, or -5, that would be the same distance from 0, but on the opposite side of 0. So I would place -5 about right here. Okay, we know that this would be -4, 3, 2, 1. So this, I would say, would probably be -6, and then we'd have a -7 here. So hopefully you were close. Hopefully you knew that you needed to be further away from 0, and that your negative number should have been, okay, an integer that is less than -5. With this one, okay, both of these values would be what type of integers? Correct, they would both be negative. So let's say that this is -4. Give me an estimate of what you think the next value over here would be. It's further away from 0. It's still a negative number, and I'd say it's about twice as far from 0, so I'm going to say this is probably right around -8. What numbers are shown on this number line? Okay. Well, we know here would be -1, -2. And if we count the hops, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Rather than counting from -2 to -8, we also could have counted closer to 0 from -10, so -10, -9, -8. Let's write a comparison statement using greater than, less than, or equal to show which number is greater. So if I have -2, -8, how does -2 compare to -8? Okay, numbers to the left or right are greater. Okay, if we're comparing 10 and -10, which one is greater? 10. It is further to the right. So what number, -2 or -8, is further to the right? That would be our greater value. Yes, -2. Remember that method where we use where the greater number gets 2 dots and the lesser number only gets 1? And you can connect them like so. You do not have to use that method, but if it works for you, keep using it. -2 is greater than -8. Now, what about how does the distance between each number and 0 compare? The distance. Now remember, distance is always a positive number. We don't say, oh, I ran -3 miles today if you leave your driveway and you go left. You always say, I ran a positive amount of numbers. Your car always travels a positive distance. Okay, so how far is -2 from 0? What is this distance here? How many units is it away from 0? 2. Now what about -8? How far is that value from 0? +8. Okay, I'm going to delete this little dash scribble I had there. Okay, now which distance is greater? If we wanted to compare the distance between -2 and -8 from 0, we would say which one is further. Which one has a greater distance from 0? -8 does. All right. So we are beginning to talk about the absolute value. And if you read with me, the absolute value of a number describes the distance the number is from 0. And distance is always a positive number, regardless of whether the number is positive or negative. The symbol for absolute value is these 2 bars here. When we look at -8, okay, oh, this should have a negative sign here. So it's the absolute value, that's what those bars mean, of -8 equals how far is it from 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, if I wanted to know the absolute value of -2, how would I write that? I would put -2 inside my absolute value signs. And how far is -2 from 0 distance-wise? 2. Okay, let's go ahead and do some more practice. So first of all, we need to find out what these numbers are on our number line. This would be, I'm going to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. I want us to find the absolute value of each of these terms. So to show that we are finding the absolute values, we need to use our notation of those 2 vertical bars. So the absolute value of -6. How far is -6 from 0? Well, we knew we went left 6, so the absolute value is 6. Our answer is a positive number because distance is positive. Now, when I want to find the absolute value of 7, how many units is 7 from 0? Well, this one is 7. All right, now let's look to your journal here, everybody. And look at your step-in portion. So on your piece of paper, look at the step-in portion. Two cities each recorded a temperature of 0 degrees. 3 hours later, the temperature in city A has increased to 7 degrees, while the temperature in city B has decreased to -9. Oops. Show the current temperature of each city on the number line. So let's label city A and city B on our number line. City A has increased to 7 degrees. Okay, so on here, here's 7 degrees, and that is city A. Okay, city B has decreased to -9, decrease, so we know it's getting lower, so we're going to the left. Here is city B. Okay. Which city recorded the greater temperature change? So which one had a bigger change in the temperature? It doesn't say warmer, it doesn't say colder, the greater temperature change. So in other words, which one is further from 0? We would say city B. Why? How many degrees did it change? 9. Oops. Oof. Changed 9 degrees. Okay, while city A only changed how many degrees? 7. We knew that the distance from 0 to -9 is greater than the distance from 0 to 7, so the greater temperature change was recorded in the second city B, which is what we had found. Again, the absolute value of a number is a number that describes that number's distance from 0 on a number line, regardless of whether it is positive or negative. We know our notation. The distance from 0 to -12 on a number line is 12. The absolute value of -12 is 12. This can be written this way. So these bars mean the absolute value of -12 is 12. What is the absolute value of 7, -5, 3, and 9? So let's make sure that we're writing our notation. The absolute value of -7 is, how far from 0 is -7? 7. The absolute value of, oh, I'm sorry guys, this is supposed to be the absolute value of 7, not -7. But does that change our answer? No, it does not, because 7 is still 7 away from 0. The absolute value of -5, here's -5 on our number line. How far away from 0 is that? 5. 3 here is how far away from 0? 3. And the absolute value of -9. So you guys are recording this on your journal as we go along. So the value of -9. How far away from 0 is this number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What do we notice about each absolute value? We had 7, 5, 3, and 9. All of those are positive distances. All right, you guys are to complete the rest of this journal as you wrap up stations today. Thank you.